Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Welcome back to another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Nope! / cross that Heart of the Swarm. We are doing a throwback version today. This is going to be a Wings of Liberty game. Right off the bat, you guys can see these players they obviously know each other. Pretty fan favorite players. Let's just introduce the players, guys. We have spawning in the 6 o'clock position. Gonna be a red Zerg player. He is known as Liquid TLO, which is of course the little one. And on the right side of the map, we do have spawning in as our blue Terran player. It is going to be none other than the Korean Terran. I guess you can call him the Korean American Terran. He is dSeleCT. So we are going to be in store for a pretty sick game, I would say. Select is just a monster in Terran versus Zerg. I believe it was one of his weakest matchups at one time. I know, like, back during MLG Raleigh 2010, man, that was like 2 years ago. Look how much esports has grown, specifically StarCraft 2. Select did not like TVZ. In fact, he did not even like playing macro in TVZ. He would just 2 racks every game or just go off 2 base all in. But Select is a much different player nowadays. He seems to be pretty comfortable in Terran versus Zerg. Very aggressive, very macro-oriented, and very mechanically sound in the Terran versus Zerg matchup. And his opponent, Liquid TLO. TLO is, I don't know how to explain this, but TLO was one of the very first players in the beta of Wings of Liberty to just, I don't know, go ape shit, I guess? Is that another way of saying it, of being creative? He was just a player that did not even like follow builds by build orders or anything. He just did his thing and just won games. He was just very creative. Played Terran, of course, didn't really play Zerg during the beta of Wings of Liberty. And he kind of, you know, went between Terran and Zerg for quite some time. I guess he kind of settled on the race of Zerg, which seems to fit his style a little bit more. I know he has pretty good mechanics as well. As I go ahead and bring up the production tab, always want to have this production tab going. But Select again, let's see what's going on in the base of Select. So far, we're seeing a command center has been started for the Terran player. It's not going to be command center first. Actually, was this a command center first? I don't know. I think this might have been a command center first, but regardless, there's the barracks for Select. There is going to be an expansion for the Terran player. So we're not seeing any kind of 2 racks or you know, 1 base Hellion or Banshee play from Select. Looks like it's going to be rather standard. You guys can just ignore the chat. They're going to talk forever. I can just feel it. Yeah, Select is just LOLing back. But TLO just going for the bread and butter build that Zerg players do in Zerg versus Terran. 15 hatch followed by either a 15 pool or a 16 pool. Some players even just decide to delay that hatchery or the spawning pool just because they don't feel any kind of pressure. And I mean, TLO did send an Overlord in the base of Select. He didn't really scout anything if I look just strictly at his vision. Okay, so he knows exactly where Select is. Doesn't really have to worry about any kind of 2 racks. He didn't spot any gas, and Select is actually just going to go ahead and take that second gas. But TLO should feel okay. I mean, he can pull drones. He can make some lings in time to hopefully defend against the 2 racks. But he is just droning like a madman right now. Look at the harvester count. We see 26 drones for TLO, 19 SCVs for Select, as we see the natural expansion has finally completed for Select. So this double gas play has become very popular in Terran versus Zerg. Of course, the Queen got buffed a while ago, so they're able to open up gasless TLO in this game. I guess he's going to go ahead and get some gas, but they just get 4 queens, pretty much mass the map with creep spread. They have queens for defense. Select usually goes Hellions. Actually, most Terrans go Hellions. And this double gas can go ahead and mean 2 things. He can play a little bit of a bio style heavy, or he can go for some Banshees and Cloak. Of course, the Banshees and the Cloak give yourself, it allows you to have yourself some map control where you can go ahead and do some economic damage onto your opponent's economy, which is ultimately what you want to do as a Terran player. You want to be able to kind of get the Zerg to make units, not make drones, while you mass up some pretty nice timing attacks. But Select is not doing that. I think he's going to go ahead and do the normal Banshee opening, or the Hellion opening, as we see 2 Hellions making their way across the map right now for Select. Barracks has been added. It looks like he is going to go ahead and get started on his stim, as well as another barracks has been added. This might be a pretty standard bio follow-up coming out from Select. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. TLO knows that Select might be going for this, you know, bio style. Opening up with 5 queens, that is a lot of queens to go ahead and give yourself a lot of defense to defend any kind of timing attacks that the Terran might do. Of course, Hellions are completely negated if you're able to be map aware and you know, see these with these queens. TLO is just dropping the creep, man. He is gonna go ahead and get as much creep spread as much creep spread going as possible as I stutter over my words. And Roach is in production right now for TLO, so he is playing a pretty economic game. He isn't really taking a third yet, so he's still on this 2-base economy. No kind of macro hatches have been added for TLO. Still on 2 gases. This might be a Roach, you know, I don't want to say Roach all in from TLO. He can go ahead and pressure and then take a third behind it. You've seen players like Stefano, like Idra, that just open up with maybe 7 to 8 Roaches, put a little bit of aggression onto the Terran, get him a little bit scared, and then take a third of your own. Third is still not there for TLO though, so we're going to have to see if he goes ahead and commits to it. And what a crazy build coming out from TLO. 7 additional Roaches in production, 10 Roaches already on the map as we see some queens. 9 queens, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, this is 9 queens moving across the map for TLO. What is this build? I have no idea what's going on in the brain of TLO, but I think he might just make something happen, and Select is telling himself, alright, this is definitely TLO that I'm playing against. Stim is about to finish. I feel like when Stim finishes, Select is going to have a much better chance of holding this, and Select with the ... he's like, what's going on, TLO? What are you doing? What is this? Queens and Roaches? What kind of all-in is this? Is Select, you know, the supply depots are going to help out. He's going to go ahead and lift that up. But Select is supply blocked. 81 out of 78. TLO is going to be on 103 supply. TLO does not even respond to that message from Select. Now, Stim is going to finish for the Terran player, and TLO is going to go ahead and move into the natural of the Terran player. TLO still pretty good supply, losing a lot of Roaches here and there, but transfusing very, very nicely on all these Roaches. Select going to go ahead and pull some SCVs off of the mineral line. TLO behind this making 4 additional Roaches. Select not in the best shape at all, falling down to 58 supply. TLO 93, actually 83. Give him a little bit of a 10 point there. But it's very hard for Select to defend this. He is trying to get some bunkers up. 3 bunkers are going to go ahead and complete, but he lost so many units. Look at the units lost tab. 47 units lost for Select, only 18 for TLO. TLO is not expanding, taking a third or anything behind this. He is just making Roaches and Queens, and Select doing his best to defend against it, but it's very, very difficult to hold off a push like this. The fact that the Queens are there to go ahead and transfuse makes the push a little bit powerful, or a little bit more powerful, and Select is falling down in supply very, very quickly. TLO can just make Roaches for a long time. He doesn't even have... Okay, yeah, he does. Okay, I was going to speak very, very soon. I was going to say he doesn't have any kind of Queens injecting back home, but he has 1 Queen. But TLO is just... he's on... Look at the creep spread as well. It's just funny. So Select is kind of... I don't know, might be a little bit frustrated with the build that TLO did. He's still going to go ahead and push the issue. Select is doing a little bit of damage. We'll be able to get a few Queen kills here. Maybe about 3 or 4 kills there were killed for Select. Medevacs in production. Another command center, so he's going to be on 3 command centers here soon. And TLO, what is he going to follow up with this? I mean, he did significant economy damage to Select. Only 26 SCVs compared to the 35. Select going to go ahead and lift up with the Medevacs. Not going to lose any more bio units against these Roaches. Really nicely done there by Select. But I mean, the economy in the favor of TLO. Does he have any upgrades? No, he doesn't. Select doesn't have any upgrades either. Looks like we're going to see some concussive shell get started for Select. Cleaning up some of this creep. Very important to do. Of course, creeps give Zerg the vision, and when you have vision, you feel a lot less worried from any kind of Terran. Any kind of Terran push, that is. But TLO is just kind of, you know, macroing behind this, making some Roaches, making some drones, getting some upgrades. We see Carapace level 1, Missile Attacks level 1, and Glial Reconstitution, which of course makes the Roaches much, much quicker. And Select is just still being aggressive, sees the amount of Roaches, immediately lifts up here into the Medevacs, knows that there is no way that he's going to be able to deal with this many Roaches. He is not out of it at all. He's kind of evening up, you know, the Harvester count. He is still down by 10. But he does have this 3rd command center, which is going to be an orbital. He can go ahead and drop some mules and get his economy going that way. But what can he do? It's very hard to be in the situation that Select's in right now. He can try to do some kind of medevac drop. Of course, he doesn't really have a lot of units. Maybe a drop in the natural or a drop in the main will be able to do some kind of harassment or be some kind of harassment here for Select. But he's going to go ahead and move across the map again. Not a lot of units on the map for Select. 25 Marines, 2 Marauders. TLO's creep spread still looking okay. But he has a lot of units. 29 Roaches. But this is a good amount of Marines for Select. We'll have to see how this goes. It looks like he doesn't want to overcommit. Very smart choice there by Select. Just going to go ahead and scan, get rid of more of the creep from TLO. But 129 supply for the Zerg, 84 supply for Select. It looks like TLO is just going to go on the counterattack. Select caught a little bit out of position. I love the siege tank on the high ground here for Select, and to be able to focus down some of these Roaches, but the Roaches are going to have vision. Siege tank goes down. TLO looks like he is going to go ahead and make his way into the natural of Select, focusing down some supply depots, killing a siege tank. Meanwhile, looks like there was a nice little drop here for Select. Didn't really do too much, as TLO had some units there, but Select has some units in the main. We see some Overlords dropping creep in the main base of Select, as we see also the natural not really mining. So Select is in a pretty bad position. TLO pretty much has this game won. There's no way Select can kind of do anything. Making some tanks and making a Marauder, not going to be enough. And looks like Select going to go for one final attack right now, stimming with some Marines. It looks like TLO is just going to go right into the Marines, focusing them down. Select dropping some mules, hoping that he can maybe mine and get some units on the map, but it is not looking good for the Terran player. Good game gets called, so TLO takes out Dignitas Select on the map, Antiga Shipyard. And I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. I will see you guys next time. Peace.